Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for joining me on another session of Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm glad you're with me today. If you didn't have a chance to read the description, I'm going to be building something special this Valentine's Day. I'm going to make an app. You ever heard of an Easter egg? Usually it's a hidden thing that movie makers put in movies that people find. Maybe they're accidents, but today we're going to make a Valentine's egg. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the hidden Lego sets within Lego sets. Derivative Lego sets, we'll call it that. If you're joining me for the very first time, please visit studio.willmelton.com. And if you're hanging out with me today, please leave a comment in the chat. If you are listening on LinkedIn, I know that LinkedIn sometimes has some issues with my audio, so YouTube is perhaps a better place to follow along, but we'll see if we can't figure that out. In any event, today's going to be a fun day. I'm going to build something else while we're together today. Squeeze it out alongside. I've got a little app that I want to build for my team. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but I'm going to switch over my screen here and just show you a little quick thing that I've done since the last time we were together. I am currently taking a look at my studio website, and what I've done is recently I have kind of put together a standard operating procedure for how I run these live sessions so that I can speed up my workflows and really focus on creating with you guys. And so I have a sort of a process flow that I've developed, and I was reading through it and I thought to myself, one of the things I spend a lot of time on is music. So this morning I went and spent probably, 15 minutes or so grabbing a few different audio tracks, stitching them together and exporting them to be played in the background of this. It is, thank you. I have, unfortunately, the issue is worse on LinkedIn. Let me know if everything continues to be delayed here. It's interesting. I'm going to quickly swap out my cover image for this session for those who are joining from another application. So just to give you guys a little sneak peek, behind the curtain look, I use AI for a lot of this stuff. So trying to make sure that my stuff is consistent across the various places that I'm publishing. And so I just wanted to quickly get one of my steps in my process I didn't finish because I didn't connect my computer right away to you guys. So anyway. All right. So what I did was I decided that I was spending too much time capturing music, and I decided that I wanted to find a little way for me to play music right from my admin dashboard. So this is all using Soma FM, free radio station out there. Shout out to these folks. You can support them with a donation. But they have these various playlists, and I'm going to work to get some more playlists that are appropriate for my build here. But in any event, I'm going to keep working along and just show you guys what we're building today. So it's already started this description. So I'm going to copy this to be my foundation for what we're going to build. Because this is a GPT that I use that I dump my transcripts from each of my sessions into to get a description that goes onto my videos. So kind of a multi-step process that I will likely automate with my studio website here very soon, because I'm going to be doing these a lot, and anything I can do to speed up my workflow saves me time and allows me to focus on all the things that I want to get done. All right, so just see. I'm going to start a new chat window, and I'm just going to paste this in here, and I'm going to start talking. I want to go ahead and build this out. I'm going to be building in Lovable, so I would like you to create a work plan that Lovable can follow along with. But before we do that, I have a challenge, maybe a couple of challenges in this that I'm not quite sure how to address. And I was thinking that we could think about those challenges before I go about doing that. So let me see if I can't get the post that I shared earlier so that I can copy the challenges that I flagged. Of course, I can't get what my post was. Let me see if I can't find it in my profile here. It's not going to let me do it. Let's see. Is it about? No, it's not there. Okay. Well, maybe somebody can see the post that I shared on LinkedIn earlier and paste the challenges that I indicated there, but I will try my best to find it. Okay, here we go. I found it. All right. Getting back to here. All right, so I'm going to paste the challenges that I have. The legal challenge is established. We can't store any photos from any Lego products. We can't use any product descriptions. I think the most that we can do are product titles. We do need to source the information. I think one of the best sources of information that we have are the build instruction PDFs that Lego provides with each of their kits. But we will start there. So I'm just going to kind of gather all this stuff and cobble it together. And I'll paste my legal AI render and play instructions and see what we have. I realized that some of what I was talking to you guys about was getting transcribed here in my transcript. Doesn't matter. AI will figure out what that is and leave me alone, hopefully, usually. All right, so I don't care about legal. I already sourced that before the call. Information source. Yeah, so this is one of the things that I was thinking we are going to do today to make this work is we're just going to do a small number of sets here on the build. And I also just want to make sure that I'm clear that this project is an independent educational demonstration and is not affiliated with or endorsed by Lego, the Lego group. All right, so AI challenge, inventory matching, concept generation, yes. Constraint solving. Base logic for symmetry, stability, heuristics, okay. MVP recommendation, start with rule-based plus AI naming. This is the trickiest technical piece, and this is what I anticipated. So I kind of like option C here, but I also thought that we could generate some photorealistic images, but that does put us potentially in challenging territory. Abstract diagram could be good for our MVP, and maybe we'll consider these other options later. All right, exploration loops, discovery loops, input sets, see hidden build ideas, combine sets, get new ideas. So here's one of the things I want to think about with this. I am a capitalist because I own businesses, and that's just the reality of capitalism. And I don't personally think that there's something wrong with capitalism. By and large, I think that there is a problem with how some people have interpreted what capitalism should look like. Profits over quality of life for everybody, I think, is probably not the best fundamental way to approach it. But in any event, as we think about the things that we're going to build, we want to be mindful of how they impact the businesses that they might potentially touch. So in this particular case, creating a derivative ideas builder is potentially going to slow down the purchase power of the purchase frequency of customers to Lego. So what we want to do here is actually leverage this to be a tool that can inspire the purchase of new sets. So essentially, no longer does Lego have to sell a set of Legos as one set. It can sell it as multiple sets, or it can encourage the combination of multiple sets to be able to generate multiple derivatives. And so that's one of the things that in my thought process for this particular build I've been mindful of is, first it's the derivatives of one set, and then the derivatives of combined sets, I think, is the interesting play here, and potentially something that Lego might want to incorporate into what it does. And by the way, guys, Lego is interesting. They are building a manufacturing facility that's going to open up in 2027 here in Richmond, Virginia. And that's just an incredible company. They're all about play. I hadn't been to their website in quite some time. And if you haven't been over to lego.com recently, check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. The way that their shop is really smart from a user experience perspective. They have a lot of very interesting things to play with here. And so I haven't yet gone into this in depth, but I'm really impressed, I have to say. Somebody who builds websites for a living, I thought that this was pretty clever. And let's see. I think all that play and exploration is a good start. I think mostly what I want to do is prompt the build to be a fun build. So, gamify that a little bit, however we can imagine. And what I'm going to do is, even though this has some questions and options in it, I'm going to go ahead and answer these really quickly so that I can have a more robust build plan. Trying to think of where all of my different sourcing materials are for this build for the lovable side, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's start with questions and answers. Let's do, for the MVP, only a curated set list. There's actually a Valentine's collection that Lego has that we can use for this. Do I want to use abstract diagrams or AI images first? Let's go with the abstract diagrams first. We'll roll it up to AI images later. I think that for now, users should just input sets because I think it would be too cumbersome to put in parts. Sharing builds, let's make that part of the MVP. That'll make this a fun thing for people to play with. I think we can make the AI generated build instructions for a couple of the ones that we have in this just for fun. I think if we limit the number of sets that we're loading into this, it can be beneficial for us in the ability to add new features without having big burden content that we need to populate. Okay, so if you have been following along, I like to talk to AI. It helps me to speed up my workflows. I'll let this ride out for a second, mute myself. Hold on one second. I'm going to try to resync my audio for this. We'll see how we do. I'm learning how to use all these tools in real time, guys. By the way, I use OBS, which is an open source stream utility that I run on my computer. It doesn't eat too much CPU. It's only about 4%. I think I might be getting closer. All right. We'll keep playing with that. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it into a new lovable build. So let's go back to the dashboard. I'm going to go get my original, wherever it was. All right, so just trying to source all the things that I have kind of more input to give into this so that I don't have to repeat all the things that I've shared to other things. I'm going to leave that description in there. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. So, okay, I think that might be enough. I'm going to just give this a little bit more information. I want to make sure that this build is fun. It is bright and vibrant and playful. We have to take extra care to avoid any copyright claims, and so our disclaimer needs to be present. We need to make sure we don't use the Lego logo. We can't use any Lego images. Let's see. I think there might be enough here to build this. Let's go ahead and start with the MVP. Oh, well, by the way, guys, it is a lovable day, apparently. So you can get 50% off today. I'm going to open that up in a new tab and just show you that. 50% off today to top up your credits. And plans as well. Earlier today, I was getting ready for the session, and my wife asked me what gives me the ideas for these builds, and I happened to be talking to a friend of mine who works for Lego the last couple of days, and it just dawned on me that perhaps there is some interesting way that AI and Lego could be kind of meshed together. And of course, I'm sure that Lego has plenty of AI stuff going on. They are a big play company themselves, very advanced company. And I suspect that this might not be a new idea entirely, but if it is, hopefully somebody at Lego likes it. But at the very minimum, my goal here today is to make something fun for you all for this Valentine's Day. While I'm waiting on that to build, I'm just going to pop over to studio.willmelton.com. I haven't been promoting this in a big way, but I do have a live auction right now for Agent Workroom, which is an application that you can use to pressure test ideas, pitting various experts against one another to hash out the answer to a problem based on a set of constraints and various context constraints. That auction is going to go for a couple of weeks, so it is not a fast closing auction. I'm going to give people time to take a look at that. But you also have the ability to join a referral program, and this is actively being expanded to include affiliate commissions for the applications that we have that actually are in production. So Sound Rewrite is a production application that helps you to finish your book. This is a really robust tool, and I can't remember the last time I showed this off, how far it had gone, but this is now expanded to have a full book finishing function. So you can take your book from pitch to outline to finish all right inside the same application. This one was a really fun build. I did this one in record time. But join the referral program and you'll get access to the affiliate program just as soon as it's released. I suspect we'll have that tomorrow. I might even build on that a little bit more tomorrow because it is in production right now and I need something to build tomorrow. So there we go. How do I know what I'm going to build? Well, sometimes there's random ideas. Sometimes there's a problem that I need to solve. I hope that by doing these sessions, I will inspire people to think about what they can build for themselves. You can see that I'm moving through this with relative ease. Of course, I've done this plenty of times before, so I should have the ability to do that. But I really hope that you all can see that, yeah, you can do this too. Studio.willmelton.com, check that out. Soundrewrite.com. And we are still building here. Okay, so I have a quick build that I'm going to go ahead and start on while this is going. This is when it becomes easy to build apps, you build a lot of apps. Oh man, I just realized that my fun neon lights from Uptown Neon here in Richmond are not on. It's part of my fun. Okay, gotta add that to my SOP. Pretty soon I'll be recording these from our new studio at West Broad Studios, 316 West Broad Street. I will be setting up Studio A tomorrow. We're set up already. We just have to do some painting and decoration. Check out westbroadstudios.com if you want to learn more about that project. We'll have studio space available for rental. All right. Lovable. Let's go. Exponent 21 has been producing a short series called The Agency. It's a bit of a parody on The Office, and we have a lot of fun with it. Everybody on the team gets involved, and we do everything from write the scripts to act to record to edit. It all happens in-house. We've had a lot of fun with it. Our clients and friends have enjoyed watching. Some of our clients have really fallen in love with this, and we think it has some room to grow. And what I want to do is build a little website, a mini site that can be the home for the agency. It's going to have videos from YouTube that we've published to a channel, a playlist that we can ingest and create a fun player experience for our viewers. We want to be able to kind of create this very simple experience, but maybe a bit Netflix-like, where we are able to allow them to automatically play from one to the next. I want to have the ability to expand on well, we'll pull in the description from YouTube, and I'll just have to make sure that we have the full cast listed there, because I also want to have a cast page where people can learn about the different people on the team and what their contributions are to these different episodes. Each episode should have a cast list, but then you also have to have sort of about the show and the rest. And maybe just to make it more fun, we can welcome ideas from our audience. We can come up with some different ways to create some engagement. We should also have some social sharing icons, and yeah, I think let's go ahead and get started with an MVP. We'll build this a bit more iteratively, and I will find the YouTube playlist that you can use for this. If you're a friend or a fan, please go follow Exponent 21 on YouTube. Also follow Will Melton Vibes. It helps us out, helps us get a little bit more visibility, and hopefully more people will get access to these educational sessions. So right now I am just getting the brand kit for Exponent 21. Find it. So it seems easier to find when I'm not live. All right. This is going to live on a subdomain of exponent 21. I think that the appropriate vibe for this is default dark mode, but we can have a toggle to light mode. All right, so while that was going, I'll get back over here to my Valentine's egg build. Okay. I'll give this some feedback here in a minute, but there's some interesting things going on in this build. It's kind of fun. There's seems to be some kind of unlocking going on here. I don't know what that is. All right. So what I want to do, I think this build diagram is, well, let me just talk to this. Okay, on first pass, I would say that we're probably not using the full canvas of the site that we could be using. I have a feeling that the colors are a little bit off. I think that there's a heavy Valentine slant to this. And while the design is not the most important thing, I do think that it's important that we make this more versatile so that it's not just for Valentine's Day, but it can be used well into the future. So brighter colors, primary colors. I'm not a big fan of emojis, so I think we can figure out how to get rid of those and focus on an improved design. There's some kind of unlocking thing going on with the, it's like gamified, but there doesn't seem to be a way to advance to the next build. I would also say that right now we're lacking inspiration in the overall build appearance. I think that the diagram is it's not inspiring enough, so I think we need to move on to AI representations. Let's go ahead and add a little footer that credits Will Melton Studio for building this. Link to studio.willmelton.com so people can learn a little bit more about the project over there. You can learn about it by visiting the site. And I think overall I want to reduce the volume of sets that we're working with and Easter eggs, and maybe focus on improving the quality of the builds and not have so much repetition. I think that the goal would be to have some builds that are just as inspiring as the original products. I'm just going to take a screenshot of the collection. Flowers. That may be work. That may work. Oh. I'll let you pick which sets we start with. Maybe 3. Let's come up with a different name for this too. And then let's dial back to the Valentine's Day language overall. Maybe we can call this project Brick Set Easter Eggs. And then I think just to make it a bit more user-friendly, we can include a little bit of marketing language that talks about what the game is, what it does, what the concept is all centered around. One of the things that we do have the permission to do is use images of Legos that are provided by users or that we provide ourselves, that we have to supply the photography. Perhaps there are some images that we can find. Maybe Unsplash has some, or some other open source image source could have some, so that we can bring the visuals to life on the page so people have more ability to comprehend what we're talking about without infringing on any kind of copyright or trademark. I feel like without images, it's difficult to convey the opportunity here. So, a couple of things to wrap it up. I want this to look a little bit more like a regular website, and the gameplay can just be a bit integrated. And then let's see what we can do. Ask me any questions that you have to clarify, or to, if you have any suggestions that we might be able to leverage to improve on what we're doing. Ask me if I'm interested in pursuing those. And while this was, while I was talking to Lovable for this build, I heard, I don't know if you heard it, but there was a little success message on my other build, so we'll go take a look at that, see what's going on over there. Oh, God, they got me again. I gotta give credit to Lovable. Anytime I've ever asked it to embed a YouTube video, it has always rickrolled me. And obviously, this is not what I looked for, but it's okay. I'll take it. All right. I like this. This is cool. Um, all right. Well, let me just keep this moving over here. The botanical collection. Okay. I think that was smart. We'll do the larger collection pieces because those are going to have better derivatives just because there's more pieces there. Use AI image generation to create stylized brick illustrations for each hidden build. This would replace the abstract SVG diagrams. Yes. Yes, that's right. Okay. For the overall site layout, what feel are you going for? Clean editorial, playful and bold. Twist our energy. Fun, playful. Let's go. Okay. So we'll let that build. I'm going to come over here and just give this feedback. This is how I build multiple apps because there's some waiting time while AI does its thing. Okay, and this is always going to give us some suggestions. Test the site end to end, add real YouTube episodes, update the cast with real team info, add theme toggle, wire up ID submissions. Okay. I want to go ahead and ingest the episodes automatically from YouTube. That's going to be something we need to add to this build. I want to improve the player so that we're not dependent on YouTube's controls as much. I would rather us have play, pause, mute, unmute, volume controls that are native to the application. And just a quick edit on the header. I want the agency to be larger. No, we can leave it. Just make the agency text in the header larger. Top bar, navigation bar. Each of the episodes needs to have its own kind of description. We can ingest that from YouTube as well. There needs to be automation around the ingestion of the episodes too. It needs to check on a, say, a weekly basis. We don't publish episodes that quickly, or maybe we'll do it on a daily basis so that if we do one day, it comes out. I can see that the agency text in the hero is cut off on the right. It looks good, but I want to fix that. We can ingest the cast from exponent21.com/our-team. I'll include the link to that in this description. Once we've ingested the descriptions, I want to update the about the agency. Once you have additional information and context from those episodes. I also see where Follow Along has us with Will Melton Vibes YouTube channel as a inclusion. We're going to remove that. We don't need that in there. We do add a little bit more credit in the footer that this was built by Exponent 21. Include a hyperlink to their website. We should also include an Instagram link. Let's make sure that once we ingest the cast, that we are also ingesting their images from the Exponent 21 website, and we are, when we show the episodes, let's also make sure that we're giving them some visibility on the description, elevating their images maybe with a hover that reveals their name. I don't know, something creative for the agency episode descriptions. And I just want to make sure that the player is going to be persistent and continue on to the next episode once one finishes. All right, so that was a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be running out of time. 13 minutes left to go. So building a couple of things at the same time, and that's sucking up my build time for the 1 a.m. Why did it bring in a picture of a cat in here? Okay. So I'm just testing this and giving some feedback. I feel like we've missed the opportunity to inject real color into this. I can't get back to the home page by clicking on the top bar link. There's no link back to the home page. I think we should go all caps with the brick set Easter eggs and go with chunkier fonts. I think that was a good idea, but these aren't really that chunky. There's a lot of white space in this. There's also a picture of a cat on the homepage. I don't know what that is about. I think we need pictures of Legos that are sourced from an open source place. I might be able to go find something. And your use of color is weak as well. There's only blue in the site when I was explicit about leveraging primary colors throughout. I also noticed that I can't see, I have to unlock builds. It doesn't make sense to unlock builds. I can't. Oh, I see. You need more sets. Okay. I think that needs to be highlighted a little bit better. 86% of the parts available need 3 more pieces from another set. That's kind of interesting. Now, here's the problem. I don't yet have enough inspiration to be able to see what these things are. And we still have build diagrams here. I thought we had switched to AI generated images. Where did we go wrong on that? I see that that wasn't done yet. Okay, got to keep building this. Let's not stop when we're not done yet. Okay, so this is asking me if I want to enable cloud, which I need if I want to use AI and storage. So I said yes. Oh, that's hilarious. And like I said, if you followed me on LinkedIn, I've said that this may not go well, and I think the hardest thing to do is to get these 3D rendered images. And I'm gonna try something here in a minute that takes this to a higher level of complexity. But let me just see what it comes up with first. I have a suspicion that it's just generating random images right now. If this is any indicator. If you guys have any ideas for me, let me know. I'm gonna actually come back over here and just see. Let's see. Well, we'll talk to it. Are there any sort of AI rendering, 3D rendering tools that I might be able to tap for this? I think that the thing that we have some understanding around is the dimensions of the different brick pieces. If we can assemble a 3D rendering, it might be a little bit easier for us to actually generate what we're talking about here. I understand it might use a little bit of compute, but is there an API we can tie into with another AI tool? Or is it possible that Lovable's cloud might have, I think it's using Gemini 2.5 Flash. All right. Let me close out of a couple of things here and just see what happened. Oh, wow. This font that you've used is a strange choice, I'll just say. Um, it's not a chunkier font. It actually is a strange font that has weird, it's like serif or something. Um, I don't know that do I need to tell you what font to use because this isn't acceptable. And clicking the logo at the top does not take me back to the home page again. You gotta fix this font. I think what's happening is you've chosen a font that's not standard. Like if you use Google Fonts, it's probably gonna fix the problem. But not quite sure what is going on here. Yeah. Well, it should be working. I don't know why it's not rendering. You take a screenshot and take a look at what it looks like. It's not a terrible font at the end of the day if it would render properly. I also would say that generally speaking, there's a lot of like gradient usage, and it's not particularly ideal. Solid colors is better, and then there's a lot of secondary colors in this that I see that really don't inspire. Um, Primaries only. These washed out backgrounds on the set selectors are not very inspiring. This kind of taupe background is also gross. Uh, I need to have you be a little bit more attentive to the details here with specificity to quality, high quality, and maybe get rid of the rounded corners. It might be taken away from the vibes here. Let's place some emphasis on the design. I can tell you that the images are cropped weird whenever you get into one of the builds. I can't see these things. I need to be able to see the full image. Other examples of where you're just randomly using these gradients on the numbers and the names, the titles, the buttons. It's just too much. And I made a mistake because I refreshed my screen accidentally instead of copying and hit refresh. All right. Mistakes. All right. Let's try this again. I think we need to revisit the design. There's a lot of rounded corners that just don't feel like they work. There's this taupe background that's really ugly. The font that you loaded isn't rendering properly. It's some other font. I can't tell what it is. It's a fallback. You're using secondary colors instead of primary colors, for instance, on this set selector. You have a lot of uses of gradients, and it just doesn't work. It needs to be solid colors in order for this to work. Solid primary colors, playful, bright, um, play like, you know. I want to focus on a high quality design for this. And right now, we're lacking in the design quality arena. Let's place emphasis on that first. I had also indicated that no gradients at all, none whatsoever, not on numbers, not on headlines. Images on the builds need to be full size, not cropped. Let's start with that. I'm as somebody who's spent a decade building websites, I cannot tell you how important it is for a site to be attractive, visually appealing, inviting, welcoming, make you feel good, make you happy. There are a lot of little ways to do that, but I can tell you that before you, it's seconds that people will be on a site where they've made a determination about how functional the site is, even though they haven't even used it, just based on whether or not it's intuitive enough for them to see and understand how to use that site. So always spend more emphasis on design than you think you should, because it has a direct impact on the conversion rate, engagement rate of people who visit, and that matters. We want to eliminate friction. We want to make it inviting and easy. So, okay, I'm gonna go over to Google Cloud Console and get myself an API key. I got to do that off screen. Get some credentials there. So, all right. So, I have an application already on Cloud and API, so
It's 2 o'clock.
I'm just going to go ahead and add the new application, which is YouTube Data API v3. And then I have to do some auth setup here just to configure my project so that I can actually publish this. Uh, and let's see. Let's see how we're doing over here. Ooh, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. Very, very good. Okay. Now, what I don't know is if this is actually working. I don't know if you can actually generate this build from those sets. And so that is the challenge. Um, I'm going to actually say that we have all three of these and see what comes out of it. Go back to builds, mini garden planter. Let's see, this one's kind of cool. I can tell that some of these aren't real Lego pieces. So there's obviously some issues that we're going to have to work through from a technical perspective. But let me see what we have. I'm going to copy this and just we'll put it in here and see what we can get out of this. One of the things that I want to do is make sure that there's actual validation around um, these builds to say that the recommended or the hidden builds are real, that you could actually build them from the set. Um, Tell me whether or not that's something that we're hallucinating right now, or if we have real compute that's going into that. Um, and then I also am going to paste something here for you to pay attention to. I'm over time here today, and I let my music expire, so let me get that going again. I was going to let that loop, but lo and behold, thanks for joining me today. If you are hanging out, say hi in the comments. I appreciate you learning with me today. I'm constantly trying to figure out what's next. And I do that by playing, by building, by trying things out. We'll let that run. See what it says. If you have any ideas for something I should build next, please let me know. I'm happy to consider those things. I'm just getting YouTube application going while that was working over there, in case you're wondering what I'm working on. I got Rickrolled today, guys. Okay, got my API key. back over here and just see honest answer and validation. The current builds are hallucinated. Yes, of course they are. There's no verified inventory data from the real Lego sets. No validation. The hidden ones are physically constructible. Let's proceed. All right, I'm gonna let that rock and roll with a build here. Like I said, I didn't know how this was going to go, so it kind of started with the renderings and the AI drawings, and now we're going to see if we can get to 3D rendering. Please proceed. Look at that. Lovable. You guys do a good job. One of the things that I have found is that manually populating content is tough. This also has improper information on it, so we'll have to fix that. Isaac hasn't yet had the opportunity to be in an episode, but we've finished filming episode 3, and we have moved on to. Sorry, no, we finished filming episode 4, and we're about to film episode 5, but we haven't yet released episode 3, so we've got a little bit more to go there. You'll be able to see this here once it finally ingests my episodes. But check it out, it's pretty funny. We're having fun with it. Okay. Let's see what we've got over here. Start phases 1 and 2 now. For every 25 prompts that you feed to Lovable, you get 5 extra credits. Studio.willmelton.com. You can find out my live vibe coding schedule here. I'm going to be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll pick up where we left off today on some of these builds. Wow, that's pretty rough. The episode 2 is actually a parody commercial, so we need to correct that one. Also, these episodes are improper in the regard that they're inverted from episode count, so you're ingesting them improperly. And you could actually read the title of the episode to find out whether it's an episode or not. They're designated as parts. Let's see. The description of these videos are not properly formatted. They are just a jumbled together text. I also see that the links in these are not hyperlinked, and you failed to present the cast in a creative way that I asked for.
All right, guys, I've done it.
Okay. We'll see about that. Man, look at this. This is really cool. I didn't even know about this. Obviously, I'm not a big builder myself, so let's see. Maybe Bricklink has an API. All right, there we go. We're making some magic. Looks like Bricklink has an API. What do you think about that? Can we use that at all? So I might have to go a little bit further with our inventory here, but as you can see, part of this is about finding what you don't know and getting to the point of, okay, now what? What's next? I could have done more research before I started this build to figure out where my resources were for this. Um, my concern stemmed more from the legal aspect of things and not trying to trample on anybody's IP. But at the same time, uh, there's more information out there than I spent time absorbing, and so there's always room for that. Um, yeah, that's good. And I thought I had already enabled cloud, but I guess that was on the other app. That can be a good reason why we lacked the kind of complexity that we wanted. Okay, this is looking better now. And then one quick thing here, I noticed that the pilot episode of the agency is indicated as a bonus. I also want to make sure that our episodes are in order here. So pilot, then episode 2, then episode 3. The parody commercial can be anywhere in there. I do like the new cast. Okay. So here's where we got stuck. I will need to create a Bricklinks account and get an API key in order to be able to do that. Now, let's see, what's my account look like? Okay, so I need a Lego account. So Bricklink is Legos. Okay, cool. Learning a lot today, guys. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this live because I am hitting a wall on energy and want to make sure that you guys have plenty of time with your significant others today. I need to go spend some time with mine. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll get this into the studio here tomorrow. So join me at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for a continuation of this. I might leave this where I'm at and pick back up tomorrow and hang out with you guys and show you how I actually get through to the end of this. So thanks so much again for being here with me, and if you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube, Will Melton Vibes, or check out studio.willmelton.com and subscribe over there as well. Thank you so much.